Hello everyone, welcome back. I am going to make this very brief. I'm here for a sunrise shoot in the Superstitions along the Lost Dutchman Trail. And this trail looks kind of raggedy, so I'm not going to be able to talk too much because I've got the second tripod tucked into one arm and I'm using the hiking pole so I don't fall my ass over. Hopefully when the sun comes up in about a half hour, it'll cast some light on this valley here. We just have a lot of scrub vegetation. I see some mountains in the foreground, so hopefully those will light up and I might have a decent composition ahead of me. I'll find out when I get there. So signing off for the moment. All right, the sun is just about to crest the hills to my right, and I framed up my first composition. Basically, it's going to be very simple. I've got a series of saguaros, one prominent one in the foreground, which I placed in a kind of like a notch in the hills. So it's going to be framed by the hills on the left. Another saguaro a little bit more over here on the right, and then of course I have distant hills there, and some more saguaros right around here. So I'm going to wait a couple more minutes pretty soon. Then once the sun is going to light up everything, it's going to light up the saguaros, it's going to light up the mountains. There's obviously no clouds in the sky, but there is a little bit of haze in the distance. So hopefully that'll give me a little bit of color. And actually, I'm going to take a shot in a second here. Put my 2-second timer on, just to get a blue hour shot in the bag. And then I'll have something to compare it to. I think this is probably going to wind up as a square crop, just because there's maybe not a square crop, but maybe a 4x5. Because to the right of this saguaros on the right foreground, there's not a lot of interest. Actually, there's a bush that's in the middle there. I might try to move that over and include that in the composition also, but we'll see in a minute. It's getting close, so. All right, as you can see, I've changed my composition. I've gone with a vertical and focused on the main saguaro that's right there in the foreground, and the capturing a couple of the saguaros that are on the right side. The mountains are starting to light up in the background. There's really nothing much happening on the left side, I should say, and there's not much happening on the right. So I've just changed that to go where the light is. So I'm going to take this shot right now. It looks like the light is starting to. It's not on the foreground yet, and maybe when that happens, when the sun comes up and lights up the cactus, it's going to be even that much more compelling. But I'm going to have this first shot in the bag. I'm going to take a few more, wait for the sun to really light up the saguaros, and actually I see even a second composition with a little bit to the left of where I'm looking at right now. So I'm going to take this first shot, you'll see it, and then I'm going to set up my second one. All right, as you can see, the sun is completely out now. So I've changed my position to take another shot of the same cactus and the same mountain, but this time framed actually by the two saguaros. This one here, and the other one over here to the right, which was previously, both of them were on the right side of the image. So the mountains are lighting, actually the mountains are starting to lose the light already because the sun is shifting rapidly to my right. So I'm going to have to take this shot right now. My settings are 1/5 of a second at f13. In fact, I'm going to focus stack this with probably 3 shots ISO is 100. Here's the first image. As you look at this detail of the left side of this saguaro, you'll notice a lot of scarring from fire damage, which was a theme I found out that carries throughout the park, which I will get into more later on. Alright, so I've come to my third and probably last composition of the day because the sun is already, even though it's barely over the hills, it's almost too high for the shot that I want. The shadows are starting to get a little flat just in the direction I'm looking, so I'm going to take this right now. This area apparently has been struck by brush fire at some point because there's a number of dead trees and dead saguaros, like one that's right in front of me. You can see here just off to the left of center of frame. You can see the hills are still pretty well lit up. I want to get this shot before the light gets too flat. So I'm going to wind up focus stacking first at the dead saguaro because that's the one that's closest to me, and then the one that's a little bit further distance, and then the hills in the back. So it's going to be a three-shot focus stack. Brain freeze for a second there. So my settings right now, I've got my lens zoomed out to about 36 millimeters. Settings are f13, 1/10 of a second, ISO 100. Let's get this first shots in focus right now. So I'm going to take this. I'm not going to show the whole stack, but you're going to see the finished image right after this. Well, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get another shot today, but this will do. Thanks, folks. I'll be here all week. This is I guess a mountain thistle. I'm not sure if that's the exact name of this plant, but I think it's going to make a very nice shot. As you see, the violet blossom framed against the golden, I don't know what those puffball things are, but the yellow and violet kind of are complementary. They work better than red and green, and I've got a very blue sky. And the top of the thistle is kind of framing the dead tree on the left and the saguaro on the right. So this will be an interesting shot, I think. So my settings right now are actually, also I've changed lenses. I went to my 16 to 35, which I don't use all that much, but I did realize I was going to need a wider angle than 24 millimeters to get this shot in. So actually I'm zoomed out to about 20 or 21, and my settings are 1/30th of a second at f13, ISO 100. I'm going to focus bracket this shot and then combine them in Photoshop. Let me just zoom in on the first blossom. That's main focus right there. 2-second timer. Fortunately, there's absolutely no breeze, so this flower is not going to move. So my next shot is going to be focused on the dead tree in the background. Third one's going to be on the background saguaro. And I've used my polarizer to darken the sky. I'm probably going to maybe do a few more things with it in post to really bring out contrast of the colors of yellow and purple. That's basically going to be the foundation of this composition. And the final result you're going to see right here. The little yellow puffballs turn out to be the flowers of the highly invasive South African globe chamomile plant. It's only been in the area for 10 years, but it's considered a pest as the flowers dry out and become highly flammable. As a result, they've been blamed for the spread of wildfires that have destroyed a lot of Tonto National Forest in the last 10 years. As for the focus stack, I decided I liked the dead tree and the cactus defocused as I put more emphasis on the thistles, so I only used the images for the thistle and foreground flowers. Alright folks, I think I'm going to make that an episode. I think as I'm looking at it, I might have one more composition, and if so, I will show it to you at the end of the episode, at the end of the video. So just stay tuned for that. But I see the light's not going to last very long, so I'm not going to have time to actually shoot it. I'm just going to run over and grab it. But I hope you like what you've seen, and if you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already. And I'd appreciate any likes, comments, feedback that you have of any kind about the channel and about the video, so that I'll be able to do better, even better next time. It'll really help me out. So I'll be out here for a few more days, and hopefully I'll have a chance for at least one more video, if not two, before I leave. So thanks again for sticking this long, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I was initially attracted to the saguaros in this composition, but I tried to create a panorama. As you can see, it's very unbalanced, so I just cropped it down to the cacti that initially drew my attention. Finally, I was on my way back to the car when I passed this Joshua tree alongside the path, and I couldn't resist taking a photo of it. I hope you like it.